creator of the NRE brand, gives his insight and thoughts on the world of comic books, gaming, tech, and media industries as the host of Neo Reality Collective. Experience a slew of regular episodes covering news and pop culture, along with reviews and editorial pieces showcasing the best and worst of our ever-expanding multimedia world.
Welcome everyone back to Neo Reality Collective. I am your host, Eric Brown of NRC, NRE, and all the other stuff you are familiar with. And, oh boy, we're going to cut up all the September news into 2 more episodes after this. So, yeah. And move forward, what's next? But, Dragon Ball Daima, the upcoming series of Dragon Ball story that was created by the late great Akira Toriyama, the last work he's probably done, and it now has a release date, October 11th. The US, Canada, Latin America, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, India, Southeast Asia, followed by new weekly subtitle episodes that will be simulcast with the Japanese TV broadcast. It will be streaming on Crunchyroll, and it also dropped news around this week in October that it will also be coming to Netflix with the release of Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. That is awesome. And then we lost the voice of Dragon Ball Z narrator, Doc Harris. I would like to state for the record that 2024 sucks. So we lost the creator and we lost the voice of Dragon Ball narration in a generation of fans like myself, because the world hates me and all of us. So, yeah. Broke the news there just to get it out of the way. But speaking of Daima, I am genuinely excited for this. Like, the last great work of Akira Toriyama will be going out in a blaze of glory with so much left to tell. And apparently there are going to be more. We're glad for that. I hope they're able to respect and honor his wishes and whatnot in the story and what we get for the finale of what will this be. Apparently Daima is also going to have a role in the Dragon Ball Super manga, reportedly from Geekdom, I believe. I could be wrong, so sorry if I got that wrong. This takes place before Super, so this takes place after the events of Z, and it's more or less a sequel to the Majin Buu saga, but before Beerus and the others arrived and did all their thing. And apparently this is supposed to start setting some stuff up, some interesting lore for later down the road in the manga, for later storylines in the Super book. But, yeah. Crazy wild ride we're gonna get. It's basically, so people also compared to the GT this whole time. I was like, it's like that a little bit, but maybe like it's taking more of the best elements of GT and the basic plot synopsis of them being kids. But, you know, it's intentional and there's a long-term plan. Now, people also were wondering if this is going to bring it back Super Saiyan 4. No, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to bring back Super Saiyan 4 anytime soon. I know I could think of a way they could reintroduce it in a new context. I certainly think this. Have Beast Gohan's transformation be evolving into the Super Saiyan 4 design. Like, that would be an interesting route to take it, instead of having him have massive amounts of having a huge set of hair that would make him knock on the door every time he tries to come to the house. So, yeah, I'm all for this idea, but oh god. Oh man, it's gonna be bittersweet seeing Toriyama's final work, especially when you remember that the voice of Dragon Ball Z's narration has died in America. Doc Harris, rest in peace. So, yeah. And Sparking Zero came out for early access for people, so that didn't help matters. So I'm being reminded of Kobe Bryant's death and Edge returning to wrestling that same day to be the equivalences of that for the anime community. Which sucks that actually is a thing, but yeah. But let's get to the other news. So Waller's still in production, and there is still planning to do it, but they're now moving it to after Peacemaker Season 2, even though we should just give it a subtitle and just call it and make the Peacemaker that we did get a limited series, rebrand that. So, yeah. According to James Gunn's Threads account, yeah, he doesn't do this on Twitter. He's mostly operating on Threads. He says no project will be greenlit until scripts are done, hence some projects have shuffled around. Some are before then announced, some are later. And most of those weren't announced in some definitive order. The only shuffling done was moving Waller after Peacemaker for a variety of reasons. And yes, unlike most studios, we'll never start production on process if the script isn't finished. Quality is the utmost priority. You tell him, James Gunn! So anyways, I'm definitely not going to reference anything that pissed someone off on the internet, or a creator of a certain character later down the road, because that would be insane. Hint, hint. So, Constantine 2 producer is saying that they're too scared, that the script is done, but the producer is scared to read the script because I want it to be good so bad. So he says, it's in my inbox right now, funny enough. I'm too scared to read it, though. I want it to be good so bad, I'll probably read it in the next few days when I get on an airplane. Yeah, he spoke this in an interview with comicbook.com with the producer. I'm not going to try and pronounce his name because that is freaking hard to do. I tried multiple times before recording this. So, yeah. I'm still surprised Constantine 2 is still happening with this whole reboot thing going on and them ending the DCU. I don't know what the plan is for Constantine 2. I never watched the first movie. It just didn't seem interesting. Also, I just can't help but think Matt Ryan as the definitive Constantine, and I wish they knew years earlier before they hired him to bring him in, because that would have kicked ass. And Venom, Phil Spencer announced that Microsoft would be firing 650 staff, mostly from Activision Blizzard's corporate supporting functions, while confirming no games or devices were canceled and no studios were closed. Specifically, the team's two big studios were hit, the Warzone mobile team and the Blizzard's Warcraft Rumble team. Oh, damn. This has kind of been a thing that's been going on since last year after Activision Blizzard was bought for $69 billion officially. And Spencer admitted that, yes, it was because of the acquisition. They have cut nearly 3,000 jobs. They're close. They're at 2,550 jobs lost. And the CWA has hit a statement saying the decision to lay off 650 video game workers is an extremely disappointing move from one of the world's largest and most profitable corporations. Yes. This news comes just after Sony Interactive, a subsidiary of Bungie, announced 220 layoffs in late July. Thank God I was not doing content at the time. I would have said something. Luckily, Ackman already did it for me. While we would like to hope that a company like Microsoft with $88 billion in profits last year could achieve long-term success without destroying the livelihoods of 650 colleagues, heartless layoffs like these have become all too common. Yeah. That sucks, doesn't it? Sucks that the industry is overly, grossly too big for itself and it's collapsing under its own weight. Oh, damn it. Like, it's been such a difficult time for game developers. Like, now it's becoming more and more especially with the rise of artificial intelligence and people trying to put that as the new standard for gaming development instead of the actual workers and the human touch. But, and especially EA's doing to do it, so that scares me to hell. But, yeah. Meanwhile, as that's been going on, Palworld developer has been sued by Nintendo because Palworld looks too much like Pokemon, essentially, for them. So, and something about mechanics, apparently. So yeah, apparently developers can just apply game mechanics as trademarks and patent it and take absolute control. Like, someone brought this up. I didn't know the Nemesis system was firmly locked into Warner Brothers Discovery's control until Moist Critical, aka Penguin Z0, brought it up when he brought up the lawsuit going on. And this is just after the whole announcement that Palworld was going to PlayStation 5, and, you know, they've been thinking of going free to play or sticking with the pay to play model. But yeah, it's been a thing, and Nintendo's still pissed. It's just so frustrating to see this industry continuously piss me off. Like, and Nintendo also killed an emulator, but that's really annoying already. Another one, bite the dust. So, there's been an update on Venom 3, The Last Dance, the final film in the Venom trilogy by Tom Hardy. So, they announced in the new trailer they released around the week of September, they announced that a character would be debuting in this movie, which is like, okay, why would you debut him in the final movie in the trilogy unless you're going to do something big with him? I'll get to that. A character who was brought in less than a decade ago, really, if you think about it. Like, he was hinted at in Jason Aaron's Thor during the time with Gore the God Butcher. And I'll get to that in a sec. But then he really debuted in the Venom book by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. Yeah. The Eldritch God of Darkness, the Lord of the Symbiotes, Knull, is going to be in Venom: The Last Dance. And Ryan Stegman and Donny Cates revealed that they did not know this character was going to be adapted to the big screen until the trailer dropped. Oh. So, yeah, let's get to that. So, how did Gore the God Butcher in the MCU get his powers? I did not watch Thor: Love and Thunder, but if his comic book portrayal is done in the same vein, like how he gets his power to kill gods and whatnot, then how is Gore the God Butcher in the Sony universe, but you know, but like Gore is in the MCU? Like, how does that work? And also, how is Donny Cates constantly being screwed? No, seriously, I need to say this. Why has he been screwed constantly for the last few years? Ever since his accident, which left him 6 months of no memory, the past 6 months of memory is gone, and he's going through a divorce. And okay, I get it's a business from Marvel Comics side, which is why it was still bittersweet. But yeah, I understood why they put Hickman in charge of the Ultimate Universe, even though Donny Cates had set up a whole bunch of stuff that was going to happen. Yeah, that whole thing, and But like, can you at least just pay them the royalty fees? Like, we still know that Jim Starlin is still pissed over how they used Thanos in the Avengers movies, and how he barely got any money out of that. So yeah, Knull is coming in, and Donny Cates and Ryan are pissed. Well, Donny Cates did later get a script to look at it and praised how Knull's going to be adapted. Let's see how Sony does it. Let's be real, because Sony isn't really the best filmmaker when it comes to the Spider-Man villains. Ain't that right, Michael Morbius? It's Morbin time! And Morpheus time and whatnot. Oh my god, that was a dumb meme. And everyone kind of just... And here's the thing that pissed a lot of people off when they found this out. So, apparently, there's a deal between Sony and Marvel where if Sony makes a movie with any Spider-Man character, Marvel Studios cannot use it. So, Venom's out, Knull is out, so there goes that. So is Kraven the Hunter. So, and I completely forgot that was even being made a movie. I have honestly forgotten about that. But, yeah. Unless Marvel pays Sony probably a huge ton of money, and if the movies do well, that's going to up the fees probably even more so, then we're not going to see Tom Hardy's Venom or Knull in the MCU anytime soon again. I know Knull and the other Spider-Man villains were in No Way Home, but I'm talking about like in separate films. Like, we're not going to get the King in Black adapted into the MCU unless Sony gets a lot of money out of it. And that would have been awesome. Meanwhile, Ubisoft, who is currently going through the destruction of its company and empire, especially after having to delaying Assassin's Creed Shadows, Star Wars Outlaws bombing in the sales, and yeah, and after the whole scandal, what they were saying with the whole, you better get ready not to own your games even though you bought them, which pissed everyone off. Ubisoft decided to realize, oh god, we're screwing up big time. We need to do that. We need to win some people over. The Crew, yeah. Wait, you're gonna bring back the Crew? What? No, that's impossible. We've deleted that from existence. No, instead, Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest will have an offline mode added to it, but the original is gone for good. Damn it. Yeah, so yeah, the Crew 2 and the Crew Motorfest got offline modes, are going to get offline modes and whatnot, and everyone's rejoicing now, but yeah, the original's dead. Also, Flappy Bird came back, but it was a crypto scam, so screw that. Also, other minor news, Cyberpunk 2077 on PC finally gets support for AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution 3 FSR 3. I don't know what technology that is. Apparently, from what I've read, it combines image upscaling with frame generation technology to generate high resolution frames that have fast frame rates, and basically go to the graphics setting and whatnot, and CDR Project Red posted this on their site. Yeah, I like the redemption arc though of the Cyberpunk 2077. I hope they do well with the sequel. So, back to things that should not be pissing me off. So, Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. So, oh god, this is oh god. Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. So I haven't watched it. I don't really have much interest in it, but they did do this big what if story where these worlds get changed and their histories get changed. Like Palpatine and Vader are Jedi masters on the council, and most of the Jedi are villains. And so nothing's changed with the Jedi then, but now they're just full-blown Sith, so they're not hiding it anymore. Oh, we got Darth Jar Jar finally, so whoop-de-doo. So apparently it's confirmed that not only is Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy a canon story, it actually takes place after the Rise of Skywalker. So we get Jar Jar and alternate universe Luke Skywalker learning of his fate in the original timeline, aka the Disney timeline, so you presented this canon story that could have altered the storyline and not made the sequel trilogy so freaking miserable, and you threw it off away. I gotta get out of here. Anyways, moving on. $70,000 worth of Pokemon cards were stolen after asking store staff which were valuable. So if they stole it, way to go. I'm pretty sure Nintendo will kill them afterwards. The Borderlands movie. Oh, we forgot about that. That ended after only $31 million in their run. Ouch. Let's see. Another PlayStation 5 update came out, adding that adds the Welcome Hub, Party Share, and more new features. I question how long it took this long. And then there was advertisements that pissed everyone off. And then after the PS5 Pro, Sony needs less things to do in pissing people off. And then the disk drive thing happened, and everyone's still pissed off about that. Also, how did they not have updates that Microsoft had since day freaking one on the Xbox 360 for most of the stuff? Like, I know parties came later, but still a lot of this stuff's been around since the 360. I question Sony's logic in taking so long, but I would say better late than never, but Sony really should not have the right to get that way. So, yeah. Let's end this whole thing off with one last big story. So there were rumors going around that Spider-Verse was canceled or scrapped. So there were rumors going around that the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse was going to be canceled, essentially, scrapped and restart from scratch, which would delay the movie for goddamn how long. But I have good news. Rejoice, everyone, rejoice. Nothing has been scrapped. The reels are coming along nicely, Miller said. Producer Christopher Miller has confirmed that the Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse sequel that's being made is still coming. And it's not been... and they said he will not use generative AI. Hooray. And there will be multiple... and the upcoming project will include multiple versions of Gwen Stacy. Yay! So... after they got severely delayed due to the whole strike, so the animation strike's coming along, I hope. The whole Sony report that happened freaked people out, naturally. And I am glad that it's not been scrapped and restarted. But we'll see how things go in the end. I'm hoping this movie ends on a high note and does well. And not put their workers through crunch. It's just been a wild ride hearing about all the production issues with the whole Beyond the Spider-Verse film. And hearing this was the straw that broke the fans' back, and then Christopher Miller had to come out and be like, no, it's not canceled, it's not been scrapped, we're still working on it. Oh, thank God, you had us scared for a moment. Yes, rejoice. But, yeah, don't be surprised if they do something, if Sony tries to screw it up eventually. Like, this is the only series of films that have been consistently great and consistently good for Sony. They screw this up, then we're done. Sony's done for fans, for Spider-Man fans. They'll want the rights to go all the way back to Marvel, and then maybe Marvel will treat Spider-Man with a bit more respect in the comics, but I don't see that happening anytime soon. And we'll be getting back to making films. So, yeah. That's all you got for today for the Neo Reality Collective brand. Feel free to comment, subscribe, check out my new content on YouTube, and follow me on Twitter. Still calling it that, Elon Suck It. And also follow me on Spotify. Stay tuned for this outro, and I'll see y'all again next time. And thank you, everyday fans, for helping this podcast out. See y'all again next time. Peace and take care. Have a good night, everyone. Peace.
That was our latest edition of Neo Reality Collective. Be sure to follow and support NRE creator Eric Brown on Twitter and YouTube. Check the links in the description below, and we'll see you all next time.